Alright, hello geometry students. Okay, so this particular video is going to cover section 4.4 from our textbook, which goes over the last two of the triangle congruence theorems. These are going to be angle, side, angle, side, angle, and the other one is going to be angle, angle, side. Just like before, we have acronyms that go with this. So this one is known as ASA, and then angle side angle is AAS. Okay, so that takes care of those. I want to just go through the definitions of these very quickly, and I'll give you guys some drawings to demonstrate what's going on. And that'll be that, and then I'll give you guys your homework assignment, and we'll go from there. All right, so the first one we're going to deal with here is going to be ASA. So let's do angle side angle. Alright, so what angle side angle says is that given two angles and the side length between them, we can determine congruent triangles. Okay. All right, so that's our definition. Again, we don't have a worksheet for this one, so you guys will just need to write this one down on a loose sheet of paper. So let me draw a picture to go along with this one. So what we have here, if I have two triangles, alright, and I am told that I have two side lengths that are equal. I'm sorry, not side lengths. Let's try that again. Let me change colors. I messed that up. I apologize. So I have two angles that I know about. Let me get a different color here. Let's use orange. Okay, so if I have two angles, so I have this angle, and let's use this top angle. Okay, can you guys see that okay? Let me get this a little bit lower. Actually, let me try something here. Using a new camera, so we'll see what's going on here. So let me kill the LED, see if that's better. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Okay, let me try something real quick. There, that's better. I like that. Yeah, we'll do it that way. Okay, so we have this angle and this angle that are marked, and likewise over here I'm going to mark this top angle. I'm going to mark this bottom angle. Okay, the angle in between the two, or I'm sorry, the side length in between the two angles is the single mark. Again, over here we have these two angles equal, and the side length in between them is the single mark, indicating that these two side lengths are equal, and then these corresponding angles are also going to be equal. So these two triangles are congruent. Okay, this is kind of the reverse thinking of the SAS rule that we had. So with SAS, we had two side lengths and then the angle in between them. This is the reverse. We have two angles and a side length in between them. So if we have two angles and a side length in between them and everything's congruent with the other triangle, then the two triangles will be congruent. Okay, so that's ASA. I'm going to do AAS next. All right, so angle, angle, side now. Okay, so the angle, angle, side theorem, triangle theorem, says given two angles and the side length not between them, we can determine congruent triangles. So again, let me draw a picture here. We have our first triangle here, and another triangle here. Already they don't look congruent. Remember, congruence markings are important, so even though these don't look the same, we pay attention to the congruence markings will tell us that things are the same. So I know that I have two angles. Let's say this angle and this angle. And then let's draw those over here. So we're going to have, I'm just going to reverse it. So let's say this angle and this angle. Okay. So I know that these two angles are congruent. Okay. Now what I need is a side length. So we're going to take this side length, which is not in between the two angles. Okay. And we're going to put this over here. Orientation is important for AAS. So if I had had the single mark on the over here by the double angle, the double marked angle, but it was over here it's marked by the single marked angle, that's not going to work. Okay, so it's not just willy-nilly we take any side length. It actually has to be, there actually is a little bit of an organization here. So here you'll notice the single side length is marked with the single marked angle. Here the single side, or the single marked side length is marked with the single marked angle. Okay, so these two triangles are going to be congruent. As a counterpoint to that, just to make this clear, if I draw this triangle, and let's say we have a single mark there and a double mark here, and then let's say that I marked this side length, no, not that side length, not that one, sorry, this side length over here. I keep messing this up, I'm sorry. A single mark right here. So this side length is congruent to this side length, but this side length is connected to the single marked angle. Here it is not. It's connected to the double marked angle. That is not the same orientation, so these are not congruent. Okay. All right. Those are our last two. We'll go over some problems during class as our follow-up, and I'll give you guys your book assignment. You guys can get started on. This one's very similar. The assignments is very similar to the last one we did with SSS and SAS. It's just take a look at the triangles that they're giving you, identify the relationships and the known information that you have, and then use that information to determine if the triangles are congruent. Something to remember here, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, there are 6 pieces of information that you can get from any triangle. There are 3 side lengths and there are 3 angles. Okay? If essentially the idea is if we have any 3 of the 6, we should be able to determine the rest of the triangle, allowing us to find the other 3. That's not 100% correct. There are 2 more organizations of this that we are not going to go over. The other ones are AAA. Okay, and the other one is everyone's favorite. It's the ASS. So ASS. Okay, clean that up just a little bit. Okay, these two do not generate congruent angles or congruent triangles. So these are the ones that we're not going to go over. If we had more time and if we were doing constructions in class, we would go back and take a look at these, and you guys would see that it doesn't matter. A triple A, an AAA triangle, when you have that kind of information, it allows you to create similar triangles, which I think we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the book. And then the ASS triangle actually creates what's called an ambiguity case, which I don't think I'm going to get into. That one's really hard to do if we're not drawing triangles. But these 2 cases are not going to be covered. So our 4 are going to be SSS, SAS, and then ASA and AAS, and those will be the 4 that you guys will have to know. All right. I'm going to give you guys your book assignment. You guys can get started on it now. All right, this is our carefully determined book assignment for this particular lesson. Page 179, numbers 2, 5 through 9. It's actually 5 through 10, my mistake. And then numbers 18 through 21. You guys can go ahead and get started on this. There will be a worksheet for this. I'm going to give you guys a worksheet that goes over all 4 of our triangle congruence assignments, and I'll try to have that ready for you guys the next time we have class. I will see you guys tomorrow.